All right, today we're going on a journey, not to some physical place, but into a landscape of belief, rumor, and, well, modern mythology that's thriving deep inside the internet. Today, we are diving headfirst into the conspiracy iceberg.
And it's a great question, right? What's really lurking down there? We're talking everything from theories you might have overheard at a party to ideas so completely out there they seem to bend reality itself. We're going to chart a course from the familiar surface all the way down into the weirdest, most speculative depths. So what is the conspiracy iceberg really? Well, it's not just some random list of strange ideas. Think of it more like a cultural artifact. It's kind of like a map of our collective anxieties, our distrust of the official story, and our search for patterns in a world that, let's face it, often feels completely chaotic. Okay, so let's start our descent at the very top, the tip of the iceberg. These are the ideas that have pretty much broken into the mainstream. I'd be willing to bet you've come across these, even if you didn't realize they were part of this much, much bigger picture. First up, sheeple. You've probably heard this one. It's a mashup of sheep and people, and it's used to describe folks who supposedly just follow the herd, accepting official stories without a second thought. This idea is so powerful today because in an age where we're drowning in information and nobody trusts the media, it's a simple way to explain why other people don't see the truth. It also taps into real psychology, like conformity bias, our natural tendency to just go along with the group. Next, we've got bread and circuses. And yeah, this one goes way back, like all the way to ancient Rome, where the emperors would hand out free food and put on gladiator games to keep everyone happy. The modern version of this theory is that mass media, celebrity gossip, sports, all of it serves the same purpose, to keep us all glued to stuff that doesn't matter so we don't pay attention to the really big issues.
And rounding out the tip of our iceberg is corporate lobbying. Now, this one's a little different, right? Because, well, it's real. It's a documented everyday practice where businesses influence politics with money and professional persuaders. The reason it's on the iceberg is the belief that this goes way deeper, creating a sort of shadow government. People point to the revolving door, where officials go from regulating an industry to working for it, blurring the lines of power way beyond what we can see.
All right, take a deep breath because we are now leaving the sunny surface and heading down into the murky middle layers. The theories here get way more specific, a lot more complex, and they are definitely not mainstream. The water is getting colder. So let's talk about FEMA camps. This theory claims that the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the people who show up after a hurricane, isn't just for disaster relief. The idea is that they're secretly getting a whole network of camps ready to detain American citizens, setting the stage for martial law during some kind of manufactured crisis. And what's really fascinating here, what gives this theory its legs, are the specific little bits of evidence that get passed around. People point to things like supposed government stockpiles of millions of plastic coffins. They share satellite images of what they say are empty guarded compounds. There are even fake job listings for internment specialists that circulate online. And to really drive the point home, they often bring up dark moments in history, arguing, see, it's happened before. Okay, so from theories of government control, let's pivot to a place that seems to defy all explanation. Welcome to Skinwalker Ranch. It's this 512-acre patch of land in Utah that has a massive reputation as one of the most paranormally active spots on the entire planet. It's even named for a shape-shifting witch from Navajo legend. I mean, the list of weird stuff that's apparently happened there is just staggering. We're talking everything from cattle found mutilated in bizarre ways, to UFOs, to strange creatures literally crawling out of portals that seem to open up in thin air. And the craziest part? The U.S. government was so interested that the Defense Intelligence Agency secretly funded a scientific study of the ranch. So, from a quiet, creepy ranch in the middle of nowhere, let's jump to one of the busiest, most watched pieces of sky on the planet, Chicago O'Hare International Airport. On a cloudy afternoon back in 2006, dozens of United Airlines employees, pilots, mechanics, trained observers, all saw something impossible just hanging out in the sky. So check out this timeline. Around 4:30 p.m., this dark metallic disk is spotted just hovering silently over a gate. It sits there for a few minutes and then shoots straight up into the clouds so fast that it punches a perfect cookie-cutter hole in the overcast sky. Now, these are aviation professionals who saw this, but the FAA, after first denying it even happened, Their final official explanation was, it was a weather phenomenon. And you can just feel the confusion in this quote, which comes directly from the air traffic control audio recordings of that day. It just captures the moment perfectly. This wasn't some fleeting glimpse of light in the sky. It's one of the most well-documented mass UFO sightings in modern history. And to this day, it's officially unexplained. Okay, this is it. We're going deeper. We are now entering the abyss, the deepest, darkest, and, frankly, weirdest part of the iceberg. The theories down here don't just question historical events, they start to question the very fabric of our reality. First up, we have an idea that completely redraws the map of our world, the theory of continents beyond the ice wall. It's often tied to flat Earth ideas, and it proposes that Antarctica isn't a continent at the bottom of the globe. No, instead it's a massive 360-degree ice wall that circles the entire world that we know. So you have to ask, what's supposedly beyond this wall? Well, that's where it gets really wild. We're talking of vast hidden continents. Believers often point to the alleged testimony of the famous explorer Admiral Byrd, who talked about a mysterious, unknown land beyond the South Pole. They argue that world governments are hiding all of this to control resources, and that maybe, just maybe, legendary places like Atlantis are real, and they're waiting for us just beyond the ice. And of course, in these deep, dark waters of the internet, you're going to find monsters. Let's look at two of the most unsettling cryptids that pop up down here. On one side, you have crawlers, these pale, lanky humanoids said to live in caves and deep forests. And on the other, the Ningen, giant, pale white creatures supposedly spotted by sailors in the freezing Antarctic seas. And what's so creepy is how similar they sound, right? Both are described as pale, eerily human-like, and create this deep sense of dread in anyone who claims they've seen one. So, we've hit the bottom. And as we start to head back up to the surface, let's just pause for a second and ask, why? Why do we tell these stories? What is it about these strange and often scary narratives that pulls us in so hard? Seriously, think about it. Beyond just the spooky fun of it all, there's something really powerful at work here. What is the powerful allure of these bizarre and unsettling ideas? Why do they grab our collective imagination and just not let go? When you really boil it all down, the appeal of this whole iceberg is pretty simple. These theories, from the most believable ones at the top to the most reality-bending ones at the bottom, they all fill a really deep human need. They create patterns out of chaos. They hint that there's a secret, hidden truth behind the boring, everyday world. In a very real way, they've become the folklore and the mythology of our digital age, a modern quest for meaning. And that's what I want to leave you with. It's the big, lingering question. If this iceberg really is a map of our modern myths, a reflection of our biggest collective hopes and our deepest fears, what does that say about us, right now in the 21st century? That's something to think about. Thanks for coming along for this deep dive.